Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
I am extra excited about tonight's Thunder Talk TV. This is a conversation very near and dear to my heart. And for any guys joining that think girls don't poop, I am here to first and foremost tell you that girls poop, not just guys poop. So Steph and I are here, and we are going to be diving into the fun, weird, but important world of digestion. We're going to be answering common questions and things that I've experienced and that most people experience, but not a lot of people like talking about poop. So we are talking some major shit tonight, and we are diving in.
Yes, and we have talked about doing this for so long. So I'm just so excited to be silly and to get to the bottom of things.
I know, me too.
And we want this to be really interactive. So if you have any questions or you have any input, any opinions, any funny stories, anything like that, please feel free to drop it in the chat or just go ahead and speak. This is for you to get to know us and for us to get to know you. So should we just get right into it?
Yeah, let's dive right in. All right, so how many times a day should we be pooping?
Okay. I love this question because I'm just like, wow. Like my hope for everyone is like that you know how crucial pooping is by the end of this. And with that being said, um, typically, ideally, optimal gut health, you will be taking 3 poops a day. Typically, after each meal, that is peak optimal gut health. And that's something we should all strive for. And, but I am going to say, with our modern way of life and everything, if you are at least pooping once a day, I give you like a 3 out of 10.
Dang, only a 3 out of 10.
Because that's crazy to me, but
When you first told me, so I used to poop once a day, and I was like, "Oh, I am a regular." And then Steph was like, "You should be pooping 3 times a day." I was like, "What?" I am constipated then because I definitely didn't. I was pooping 3 times a day. I got myself to doing that, and I was like, "Wow, like success!" Like I felt at a peak level of poop success, and yeah, but it has varied
yeah, and
throughout
it
the
is
journey.
hard. Like it's really hard to do that because you are, being very intentional, you're being very mindful with like everything you're doing to take 3 poops a day. So think about like this, like, you know, you're pooping once a day, but like think about how much you're eating throughout the day. And this could vary from person to person because I know like a lot of us aren't hungry at all and like we could go all day without eating. But like that's a problem in itself. So understand like you want it to be optimal. You don't want your health to be like going to McDonald's. You want your health to be like the fine dining experience. And like
Yeah,
that's what you like want to like think of your gut like microbiome as. Like that is what's gonna keep you going and thriving and healthy and like full of energy in life. So getting out 3 shits a day is optimal. And there's things that you can do and we'll get into it obviously, but that is something that we should all strive for. And I would say like the minimum is once a day.
okay. And then what about after snacks? So like every meal we should be pooping after. What about snacks?
Yeah, so snacks are a little bit different just because you're not eating such a large bulky quantity of food. So if you are eating like a higher fatty snack, I guess, and it's pretty decent size, then yeah, you might take a poop. You might not, but typically no, like you know, it's not really producing enough to, get that gastrocrolic reflex that you need to take like a large dump.
Okay, so then once you take this dump, should your poop float or sink? Because one time I was with my friend and she was telling me how her poop floats. And I was like, what? I was like, my poop never, I don't think I've ever seen a turd float. And so then that has been, and like I have since then, I've paid more attention. But yeah, so I was like, whoa, I didn't even know, that poop floated or sunk.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you brought this like to my attention, and I was like, I knew like, like the basic facts, but I was like, wow, that's like really interesting. And it's so funny, like it's always connected to like something like a nutrition deficiency. So you ideally you want your poop to sink. And if it is floating and you notice that it's like floating quite often, this is your body telling you this is a symptom. Like it's like screaming, like, look at me, help me. Like I'm showing you, I'm telling you something's going on. And it could be, you just need a little bit of gut support. It could be that you really need to check into what you're eating in your diet. And that's probably what it is. And check your symptoms. We have a food journal that it's so easy to track everything. Like this is the place to do that. So, our poop tells us a lot. And if you have an animal, like a dog, for example, you're always analyzing its poop because that is an indicator of good health. So, if we paid attention to our poop more, we would probably feel a lot better. And I think it's just important to note that, our bodies fluctuate in different seasons. And so, if you are going through a tougher time, it's my opinion that, that is the time to be more disciplined and more observant and more mindful and more intentional because your body needs that support. So by, taking a quick glance down, and just being observant. And I know it's like funny and silly, but I mean, we're all human and we all shit. So it's like, get over it.
Yes.
So, and you can support your digestive system to help it absorb fat more. And you can do this through a digestive enzyme, which is just a supplement. A lot of times it goes hand in hand with a probiotic. But yeah, it's just all about malabsorption and even excess gas that could lead to your poop not sinking and floating.
And you brought up our journal. So I did put the link in there in the food journal. If you haven't heard me say it before, you'll hear me say it now. And if you have, this is like the 10th time that you've heard it. The food journal is what literally changed my life. It is what Steph and I created as I was going through a ton of health things and we were really trying to get to the root cause. And so, yeah, like one of your symptoms that you can track is also your poop. Our body talks to us in many, many ways. So this is just another one and another way to learn how to listen to your body and really give yourself what you need so you can live life at full throttle, get that electric energy, and truly live the lifestyle that you deserve.
Yeah.
All right. So what does it mean then if you're constipated? So all this talk of poop, what if you can't poop?
Yeah. Wait. Oh, okay. I'll ask you after. So constipation usually means a number of things. It's not always just one thing. It's typically, a few things that you could work on. So hydration is a major. A lot of us are walking around dehydrated, not drinking enough water, running on empty. So really focusing on drinking more water can help with constipation, along with getting enough fiber. So we'll get into different kinds of fiber. There's two different kinds, soluble and insoluble. But not getting enough fiber can cause you to be constipated. It can make your poop like hard and small and like difficult to take a poop. And that's where like we all feel uncomfortable and you just feel like so bloated and like you're just like, wow, I want this out of me. And like you can't. And a way to like fix this or support your gut is to increase fiber slowly. And the key is slowly. You don't want to bombard your body with like a bunch of fiber right away, and drinking plenty of water with that fiber. So you're going to include a balance of both soluble and insoluble fibers in your diet. And we'll get into what those mean in a little bit, like I said, but it is so important. And, like you said, whenever I told you, like, you should be taking 3 shits a day, and you're like, that's crazy. Like, I'm definitely constipated. How did you feel like at that time in your journey?
Um, I can't say that I didn't even know that I could have felt from pooping more, because it was like
Wow.
so
Yeah.
normal for me. It was just like, yeah, every morning, take my morning poop, and and I was like, cool, great. And then I mean, I guess sometimes, yeah, it would happen more often, but never like consistently after every meal. And then when I started going after every meal, I was like, wow, yeah, like it feels like more normal, less bloating, and you just feel better.
Yeah, and like less sluggish for me. I know constipation
Mm-hmm.
was like a huge issue for me too, especially like the more stressed I got, like the more constipated I got. And I remember one time, like I couldn't poop for like 3 whole days. And I remember being like, this is crazy. Like
Yeah.
it was just so uncomfortable. So a lot of times, our body is telling us one way or another, like, hey, you're burnt out, you're stressed out. Like, you don't even have to have like those mental effects. Like, you can have those physical effects as well. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
there was one time also, like normally growing up, I would say IBS was definitely my issue and like IBS. And
Yeah.
then one point, literally like I think it was last year, was I think the first time in my life that I was constipated as in like not pooping at all for days, and I was nauseous.
Yeah.
I felt like actually sick, and I was just like, can't imagine living like this, because some people like really do struggle with constipation and don't
Yeah.
poop for like days at a time. And yeah, I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah. And it leads to so many other different issues. So we'll get into what IBS is in a little bit, but yeah, it leads to, constipation, it leads to bloating and cramping, it leads to inflammation, which is something that we
Mm,
all talk about, and how, inflammation is the root to all diseases. So really understanding that you can control the inflammation in your body just through, taking care of yourself a little bit more and being more mindful and intentional is so cool. Like our
yeah.
body already knows like what it needs and what it doesn't. So just by giving, like, it's just all about being intentional, which is like, I was thinking about this before we got on our call. I was like, I don't know. Like you said, I didn't know any other way. I didn't know any other way too. And a lot of our clients don't know like any other way, because it's just
It's
how
our
you're
normal.
programmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I don't know any other way than this. It's like
Yeah.
it's so it's so weird to like think about, because like it really wasn't that long ago that, like we were in those people's shoes as well. So like
Yeah.
we've been there and we get it, and like it is an everyday intentional mindful thing. And then you
Yes.
just master it and you're like, wow, this is my new way of life. And you're like, you forget the old. You're like, wow, I can't even go back to that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like you'll know whenever you do have that weekend where you are just going all out and do whatever you want,
Yeah.
and you throw out all the discipline and all the habits and everything. And then when you like you aren't pooping as normal again, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, like this is why I do my habits, and this is why I'm disciplined in my routines, because I deserve it. Like I truly deserve to be disciplined and have bold habits, because that makes me feel the greatest that I can feel.
Yeah, exactly. And so you were talking about IBS and how you really struggled with that. Were you experiencing diarrhea at the time?
Yeah, explosive.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, you definitely weren't constipated.
No, yeah. Well, no, not at the time when I was like pooping once a day. That was like normal. But before, it was before I went vegan. So it was like 8 or 9 years ago then. And once I cut out dairy, like literally all my issues were solved for a period of time. And so, but yeah, like I would not. the car anywhere unless I knew of bathrooms that I could stop at. And like still to this day, and I can tell you where all the clean bathrooms are from here to Pittsburgh, and I can tell you the ones that you want to avoid. And like I know the details of these gas station bathrooms because like typically it would happen. And but I guess it wasn't, I don't know. I guess I couldn't say I knew when it was happening because there was some terrible accidents, but but yeah, like more common in the morning, maybe. Oh, we're just having a hard time hearing me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think you were just like put your hand over something or other.
Oh, okay. I have my headphones in because my phone speaker um is not working the greatest. So I thought my headphones would be better.
Well, I do have a few stories too, driving from Pittsburgh to Butler.
Oh gosh.
We could just have like a whole like poop talk, like talking
Yes.
story like segment.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that would be
Guest
funny.
speakers on.
We can have like we can bring on a guest for that one too.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. But so back to IBS. So
Yes.
IBS and diarrhea, they go hand in hand. They create, a bunch of digestive problems, and it's all due to malabsorption. So like chronic diarrhea, it's going to disrupt your body's balance, and this should not be overlooked. Like this should not be considered normal. This should not be considered like, cool and chic and like, oh my gosh, I have IBS. Like, no, honey.
Yeah.
go like it's time to like work on yourself. It's not normal because, and I'm saying this with love because I think it's ridiculous that people think they have to live that way. And that's the only reason why I'm like, we can work on things. We can do better. We can be better. We don't have to ignore things. We can just, face it head on.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that's your body's way of saying, check your diet. Check your diet, please. Check your diet, please. Eliminate or add foods in because I'm, way out of balance. I'm way out of whack. You're probably eating too many processed foods, a lot of sugars, a lot of carbs, and this is going to disrupt your gut, and it's going to cause things to explode and cause you to not feel, full of life and live life at full throttle by any means. But if you focus on finding a balance between, what you like and, what is actually healthy for you, like fiber, protein, and fats, and you can manage, that balance, then you'll manage your symptoms as well. So understand that IBS is very treatable with being mindful and intentional, just like anything else, and building those bold habits and creating those disciplined routines. And we all underestimate stress. And I guarantee that you were probably a little stressed out at that time, or there was something stressful going on. And it's often overlooked, and we just focus like on the physical symptoms that we're receiving, and the physical symptoms often come last. So you're already struggling before that. So just remember, you deserve to live life at full throttle. You don't deserve to live life like managing symptoms and like it with like a freaking Tums and like knowing where all the clean bathrooms are and like, on your medications and you're like 20. No, like it's time to get to the root cause. It's time to, face the music. What's really going on? And that's what talking shit is really about.
Yes, absolutely. Like before I would joke about literally like I wouldn't date a guy if he thought a girl didn't poop. Cause I was like, we're gonna have to be talking about poop, like we're gonna have to be driving fast to a bathroom after dinner or something. Like that was something that was like a requirement for guys that I dated. Like you had to be able to talk shit.
Oh my gosh. Girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so all this like unhealthy poop. What even is healthy poop? Like, I don't even think the world knows that there is healthy poop.
Yeah, and it's nothing crazy either. It should be well formed. It should be like you should feel good after you take a poop. You shouldn't be like, oh, I just took a shit and like I'm all fucked up. Like all the things that
Yeah.
people say and do. Um, your poop should, you know, sink in the toilet. This is a great sign. You want your poop to be on the bottom. And that's really it. There's like 4 check-ins you could do. We could have a 4 poop check-in.
I
Well,
love
4
that.
medium brown color. It sinks and you feel great. That's what a healthy poop is.
Love that. Okay, we're gonna have to create that and send that out in one of our emails.
I could absolutely do that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so then, and like not all poop is equal, like there is healthy poop and there is unhealthy poop. And so yes, do the poop test, see if your poop is healthy. All right, so
Yeah.
how does fiber affect poop and digestive health?
Yeah. So think of fiber as like your superhero for healthy pooping. Okay. This is so important. And I don't ever remember learning about fiber. Like, I remember like those Fiber One bars that came out when we were
Oh
like
my god.
kids, but they're like freaking candy. It's literally like it's
Yeah.
garbage. Like, but like that was my extent of knowledge around fiber. So it really is not talked about well enough. And I think it's just something so easy that we can all do it through food. You don't even have to buy anything extra necessarily. Um, so yeah, fiber is the superhero. It's gonna keep your digestive system moving and it's gonna ensure that it's like the right consistency, that it's sinking, that it's the right color, all of those things. But there are 2 different kinds of fiber. So they're soluble. And this slows your digestive down. So if you're experiencing like symptoms like IBS, the soluble fiber might be better for you. And this is going to improve your nutrient absorption and it's going to help regulate your blood sugar. And then there's also insoluble, but I got ahead of myself. So sources for soluble fibers through food: chia seeds, flax seeds, any citrus fruit like oranges and lemons. They're really low in sugar and they're really high in soluble fiber. So these are just, quick things that you can grab on the go, like add to anything. You can add chia seeds to your water. Like it's that simple. So and if you need extra support, we can absolutely talk about that. But this is a great place to start just by,
Mhm.
incorporating foods because I believe like we can really heal ourselves through our foods.
Yeah.
And then there's insoluble fiber, and this is going to add bulk to your poop. So if you're feeling like constipated or anything like that, any of those symptoms, it's going to help it move smoothly, and it's going to prevent like that backup and that constipation in your intestines, and you'll feel a lot more comfortable. So think of like your fermented veggies, your root veggies, like sweet potatoes, turnips, nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds are my favorite. All great things that you can incorporate to help with that constipation. And even leafy greens like collard greens are my personal favorite. Swiss chard is another good one. It's an excellent
Mhm.
source of insoluble fiber, excuse me, and it'll support your digestive health overall, really like helping you reach that peak optimal gut health.
Mhm.
So, I mean, like, do you feel like that's hard to do? Like, I don't feel like it is, but
I don't feel like it is. Yeah, but for me, like eating that stuff is such a natural part of my lifestyle now that I don't even think twice. So I would say like make a list of everything that we just said, add it to your
yeah,
grocery list, and then just keep it in your house at all times and find ways to incorporate that every single day. So, habit stack. If you are already having a morning smoothie, put your chia seeds in your morning smoothie and keep them beside all of your smoothie stuff so you remember to put them in. stuff like that. So that way you are making it a part of your lifestyle. This is not something that you just do to help you poop whenever you are constipated. This is
Yeah.
something that you are to do every single day, because let me tell you, getting to poop 3 times a day takes work. It is a lifestyle. So add all of this into your daily routines. And before you know it, you'll be pooping 3 times a day. Solid poops that sink.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then how do you achieve the right balance of fiber for healthy poops?
Yeah. So definitely varies from person to person. So take this with like, for what it is, but there is an aim for 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. So this could be a mix of soluble or insoluble fibers. It could be through food, it could be through a supplement, it could be a variety of both, but really think vegetables, fruits, proteins, fats, and nuts all in your diet. Those are really going to launch you into just a different mindset, honestly, and like a different way of moving and thinking and like your point of view. And then you'll be able to get into being more intentional and mindful and start making bolder choices and like bolder decisions.
And okay,
And
so I am, go
sorry,
ahead.
I was going to say, but the most important thing with taking fiber is drinking water. Like fiber needs hydration to do its fiber job. So, if you aren't willing to really take that extra step to stay hydrated, like the fiber isn't going to do much. So it's really like a two-part system.
Got
But
it.
anyway,
Okay,
what were you
fiber,
saying?
hydration. Well, I realized that something that I forgot that I wanted to talk about was clean wipes. Okay, so before we like end this,
Yeah.
if you have a softer poop, then you are sitting there like half the time you're in the bathroom is just wiping. And then other times you're a one wipe wonder and you're just like, whoa, that was good, So what do the different wipes mean if you have something softer, a little messier versus like cleaner one wipe
Yeah.
wonders?
Yeah. Well, think about it. So, you have a nice clean poop, it's sunken, it's well formed, it's the right color. You're like, oh, I'm done. Like, I feel great. Like, you feel like you really released like some toxins, man. And if you notice, like, you could take note of this, like, you aren't wiping because you don't have freaking like explosive diarrhea, and you're not like, it's just a malabsorption. You didn't absorb anything that you ate. You didn't receive any of the like vitamins, minerals, nutrition that you needed. So yeah. I would say that a healthy poop comes with a clean wipe and an unhealthy poop comes with a messy wipe.
And I think you just said it. So like wipes, meaning unhealthy poop, that is less absorption into your body of the
Correct. Yeah.
nutrients that you ate. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So cleaner poops, you're absorbing more of what you're eating. And then messier wipes, messier poops, you are absorbing less of the things that you need from why we're eating the foods that we're eating.
Yeah. And when I say malabsorption, that's what that means. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now how to achieve the perfect poop. Let's close this out and wrap it up.
Yeah, I guess that was like our 4 check-ins, like how to achieve the perfect poop. Just, think of these 4 check-ins. So you want regular bowel movements. You want to be pooping after each big meal. That is your optimal, like, peak gut health goals. So sinking poops are a sign of good health, good, there's no imbalances. Otherwise, if you do have an imbalance, it might be floating. And yeah, constipation or diarrhea means you need to reassess your diet and what's going on. It's just symptoms. Like, we're like, oh my gosh, like, we always like make things so complicated. It's like,
I know.
Dude, your body's just telling you like it doesn't like that. Like,
just like we're talking to you, your body's talking to you.
exactly. So yeah, balance your fibers, stay hydrated, and you'll like reap the rewards of a healthy gut. But I really want to like reiterate those like those 4 check-ins because I think they're great. That was good,
Yeah.
but like well-formed, medium brown color, it's gonna sink and you feel good. Like if you can achieve that day after day, I guarantee you're gonna notice like different energy levels, different like mood regulation. Like you'll be probably a little happier. You know, your body's literally holding on to shit.
Yeah. You have shit to let go of. Okay. I'm sure you already know that, but pun intended.
Oh my gosh. So do we have any questions?
Yeah, this was great.
Bridget. Oh my
All
gosh.
right. Well, thanks for talking shit with me, Steph. This was so fun. And we definitely should do another one. And we should definitely talk about, do you know what I'm
Yeah, we can do like a part 2 episode to this.
okay? Part 2, talking shit coming soon, and you will find out what we were just
Yeah, you'll really
having.
get to know us prior to being your lifestyle coach and what really drove us to, like lead this really healthy lightning lifestyle.
Yeah, and like how deep we're in it.
Yeah. Well, this was awesome. Thank you for having me. And yeah, till the next Thunder Talk episode.
Until then. All
Bye.
right, bye. Good night.
Good night.